It'll be interesting to see how that goes, but it should be fun.
Yeah.
Should be fun. You guys all got your coffee? How you doing, Bob?
You know, I'm a little rusty this morning.
Yeah.
I'll be telling you, it was it was a good weekend, but it was hard to get up.
Yep.
Your trip home go okay though?
Oh yeah, no problem there. Yvette and I had a great dinner on Saturday night. We went to, I don't know, kind of a downtown area of Boise that's kind of, I guess, kind of the cool hip area, and it was alive and well, right? A lot of people were having a ball, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And then we have another presentation for Babe's Boat Care products right after this, so we were actually prepping for that all day yesterday before we got on the plane, so we used the time wisely. Yeah.
Wow. Cool. Where did you guys eat?
A place called Jupiter, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was
That's fun.
really good. I actually ran into somebody from the car show there. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, good. Is that kind of down in that kind of district where there's like 8th Street and the hockey facility and all that? Is that kind of down there?
Where they close off the street, Sydney?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got that alleyway that's got all the murals on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
Man. We just kind of stumbled across it. To be honest with you, we actually went to a concert that was a private event, but we didn't know it. It was kind of roped off, and we were driving by, we heard the music, we said, oh, we'll go there. And so we sit on the lawn. It was like a little amphitheater lawn. So we sit down, and, you know, Yvette and I sit down, and all of a sudden this guy walks out of the restaurant, and he's like walking up to us, and we're like, oh, this is awesome. This is gonna be great service. He goes, oh yeah, no, you're not allowed here. And we're like, oh gosh, you're kicking us out. So we got kicked out.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. That is hilarious. All right, Chris, are we live?
You guys are live. You're good to go. We're still gathering an audience, a little bit slow this morning.
Yeah, we're all a little bit slow, but that's okay. So good morning, everybody. We are live here bright and early on Bead Maker and Coffee, and we have special guests today, Bob Phillips. Kyle is on vacation still somewhere in Idaho. I don't remember where he's going, but he's going to play in the sand and dirt and camp and all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you, Bob, for sitting in with him. This will be a lot of fun today.
Oh yeah, what an honor. I mean, you know, and also just to see Kyle and all his gear, right? That guy with his big trailer, he's got his quad and his razor and all the family. I mean, it's crazy. That guy travels, right?
Yeah. I went and checked out their camp the morning after he got here, and I mean, they do it. It's pretty amazing. Yeah,
good for Kyle getting the family out there and doing something. So no, I'm trust me, I'm happy to sit in, especially after such a great weekend. Just for the industry in general. I mean, you know, the fact that we didn't get to go to SDC, but you know, your event, Sydney, was so cool, right? So just a lot going on.
Yeah. All right. So this is the part of this show where we always talk about, we kind of talk about like what we detailed last week, but let's just talk about what happened last weekend, because it was a big weekend across the entire industry. So let's chat about that. So what did you do this weekend?
Well, I was with you all.
So that was awesome. I
spent my weekend with you in Boise, Idaho, actually in Hidden Springs. And for those that don't know, Sydney, this is the 7th year that she actually leads a car show in her community, which is really, I think you got to describe the community to make people get an understanding of what it's like. I mean, it's 5,000 people, right, Sydney?
In
Hidden Springs?
Probably.
Yeah, 5,000 people. And literally it's like 1,500 homes. It's in the hills above Boise. And you drop down this little valley, and then it's like this little Pleasantville community. I mean, literally. I mean, just you can't write the script. All the homes are perfect, and so you know, Sydney for the 7th year this year, and kind of it was a big year. She hosted a car show for 170 people, and 170 cars entrance. And I have no idea. I mean, thousands of people. And it's just a great success. I mean, I know Chris can speak to this as well, but I mean, watching you in action in your community and knowing that you're a part of our team was just like, it was like, I was like the proud pop, man. I'll tell you, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Of course, inside me, I felt like an absolute mess, but I will have to say all of my fears did not come true. So that was awesome. Thankful for that. And yeah, we just had an absolutely awesome weekend. So definitely want to give a shout out to the entire team PNS that was there. Chris Woolman, Rennie, Chris Lee came, which was so awesome. Yvette came, which what an honor to have her here. And then we had a couple other detailers join in. We had Adam Garvin from McMinnville. We had Ricardo Lopez from Utah. So appreciate them coming. That was so awesome to have a couple of the Detail Network members and Mafia members drop in. That was so cool. So I just appreciate everybody's help. That was, and of course, Kyle was here. So awesome. So super appreciate that. And then clear across the country, we had Keith and Prentice attending the Southern Detailers Conference. So how about you give us the update back from Keith on how that went? It sounds like it was amazing.
Well, I can give you, just two impressions. Number one, Keith said the event was absolutely amazing. And then all you got to do is just, read the reviews on Facebook. I mean, detailers were they were on fire, man. They were so happy to get together. And it, such a good turnout. And it sounds like it was really professionally run. Particularly, it was at the first time at that venue. You never know what's going to happen. And Daryl, kudos to him, man. I mean, he had a vision, and a lot of people doubted him. And partly because, it's just the first time something pulls off, and it's a lot for, one guy. And then also there were a lot of other people involved, obviously. But, it was a massive success for the industry. I mean, people were just like, they were so pumped up. I mean, so it was kind of, I didn't feel, like we weren't there because we were having so much fun at your event. But looking back, to see what happened over the weekend, it was, really, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did get to go back and see where Rod and Jody, for those who didn't watch it, they came actually live from SDC and had us live at Cruise in Hidden Springs, which was so awesome. That was so great of them to bring us all together. Daryl joined them in the booth, and I didn't know that at the time because we couldn't hear or see anything, right?
Yeah, that was a little frustrating.
So when I went back and watched, Daryl was in the booth with them. I thought that was so awesome, and I appreciate him for that. And Shane Pennington also joined Prentice and Keith, and he did an amazing job for the team, which was so awesome. So special thank you to him for filling in some shoes at the Southern Detailers Conference. So yeah, just a great, awesome weekend all around. And so we'll still kind of touch on what we detailed because that was kind of fun. So we got to detail Gabe Garcia from the Rag Company, right? He has a 1989 Toyota 4Runner, literally looks like it drove off the showroom floor. So the whole team got to work on that in my shop, and that was so fun. I don't know if you had fun.
37,000 original miles.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, cool. I mean, even like the thing was that even the molding and trim, the emblems, everything still looked new. I mean, I know I can't say there's the original tires on that thing, but I do think that if they're not, they're just the second set, right?
Right. Yeah. So that was super fun. We got to kind of help Gabe out, and that was a lot of fun. So we got to, I wouldn't call it downtime, but it kind of felt that way, right? We were just kind of in our element and playing around with products and having a good time. We worked on another Hellcat that needed some help that we got to bounce back with some of the products. So we did get to play with the products and have a lot of fun. And that was, one of my favorite
you gotta describe the element though. I mean, just all of us just hanging. It was like kids hanging in the garage playing with stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your whole shop there and we're like, Rennie, Sydney, where's this? Where's that? We're grabbing everything, detailing cars. But the 4Runner was pretty, what made it really cool was the fact that, we pulled out new products, right? New compounds and polishes. And quite frankly, they didn't work on that old paint. Right? They dried up, they dusted. And, if we were to use some, newer technology product, if we were testing newer technology products for the first time, we went like, well, that didn't work. And then we actually pulled out old school PNS products. Old school polish to finally polish the thing, and that was the best product that worked, right? And that's like the 30 plus year old formula. So that was really cool. And then
Yeah. So Keith, he'll be so proud of us. We actually ended up at Ultra Coat Polish on both the 89 4Runner and the I think it's a 2016 Hellcat, right? That's what ended up working on the Hellcat too. So Keith will be proud. We used a lot of Ultra Coat Polish this weekend.
I know. Yeah. The ultimate, buzz and go product, right? I mean, it's like, loaded with fillers, right? But it's what worked. And so it was great.
Yep. Awesome.
And then the cool thing about the 4Runner as well is then we got to do the whole thing with Soul. And that was really a pleasure to work with. And then to obviously deliver the car back to Gabe, after we detailed it was pretty neat as well. Yeah.
Yep. And then Friday afternoon, we got to go work on a special project with the rag company that was kind of fun. I'm not sure how much they've shared about it, so we won't share too much, but we got to have a special part in a fun project that they're working on. And that was a lot of fun. We had a good time with that. Some of us had a little bit too much fun.
So is their project not public? Aren't there a teaser out on that, or they just filming?
I think there's a teaser. So they're working on some fun new cars. I don't know exactly how much.
Yeah, they're not new.
Well, new projects. The cars aren't new.
The
cars aren't new. No, I think they have said that they're doing like a cheap car challenge. I think they have said that.
Yeah.
I just don't think they've shown the cars yet. So that was a lot of fun. We got to be involved in that, and we some of us got to drive the vehicles. And Chris and Kyle, not to give it too much of a teaser, but they had a little bit too much fun. So that was a good time on Friday afternoon. That was a good way to end the 2 days of working in the shop, but that was pretty fun. And it was really hot here. And now what's so funny is it's like 70 degrees here all week this week. So
104. Yeah.
It was a little bit crazy. So Kyle chimed in and said he is living his PNS double black lifestyle. So good job, Kyle. We are proud of you.
Somebody's got to do it, Sydney. Yeah.
Yep. Somebody's got to do it.
Exactly.
The rest of us.
And then I just thought I'd bring this up. Anthony says Shane Pennington did an awesome job for you guys.
Yes.
Oh no, he did. I sent him a message on Facebook this morning because he posted up some pictures. I mean, Key said he did an amazing job, and he's been such a great partner to PNS over the last 3 years, and to have him go down there and step up for us was really awesome.
Yeah. So thankful for you. So yes, extra shout out to Shane Pennington. All right. So then next we generally talk about what's new with PNS. So perfect that you're here because you can help, share what's new and exciting going on at PNS and kind of what's looking forward. What are we going to be up to?
Yeah. So, I mean, just staring at the screen, we got our 60th anniversary logo up there, right? So should be by the end of this week. We will be releasing our 60th anniversary blend of Swirl Killer coffee. So that's kind of a fun thing that we're doing, right? So that should be by week's end. The actual coffee's been delivered, and so we're just waiting for the 60th anniversary label to come in so we can brand all the coffee. And it's actually really fun because Mark Micheletti, the roaster, my friend, I told him I wanted to do it, and Sydney, he got so fired up. He's like, "Oh my God!" He thought it was so cool. And awesome. Now what I want to do, as I mentioned to Chris and Rennie, I want to get those guys up. We'll go to his roasting, where they roast the beans, and do a podcast or something out of there to show it, because he takes pride in that, and it's kind of something that we've done in the industry that's kind of unique. So I'm really kind of excited about that, just for fun, right? It's not really a product.
Yeah.
The other thing we're doing, let's see.
Cool.
You got to see kind of a sneak preview of kind of our legacy new retail look. The sprayed bottle, in your shop. So we're changing the look of our pint products, and maybe, starting to evolve that. It's almost kind of a little bit of a test market on the updated branding. It's very, it's very, I think, you'd say it's very powerful PNS, but we fixed a couple of things too. We made it so that things are really legible. Stock numbers are very pronounced, stuff like that, just kind of taking advantage of, kind of a new look and feel. So we're working on that. The other thing that we actually got, the second now, over at the training center, we now have 2 fill lines running. So
awesome.
We just, about a month ago, we got the other fill line running, and now we have 2 fill lines running at the same time. So that's kind of cool. We're pretty excited about that as well. So
yeah, so awesome. And when's the next training? Is that this week or next?
Next week. And we actually have 3 days of training. We're actually doing a coding training on Monday, kind of a special event at the request of an automotive dealership group. So which is kind of interesting. People know if they want to request with Chris or Apprentice a special event, we'll actually, accommodate that if we can. So we actually have 3 days of training in a row. So we're doing a coding event on Monday, our standard 1 day on Tuesday, and then another coding event on Wednesday. And that should be kind of cool. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Very good. All right. Do we have any questions yet, Chris? We can dive into some questions. We've got people on early with us this morning. Yes, I was going to say that one.
Non-product related, but that 4Runner was an 9?
It was an 89. Yep, 89. And it was a 2-door, and it was a manual transmission, which was super cool. So I think there was a couple. I know Rennie did a TikTok. If you go look at Rennie's TikTok, there's quite a bit about the 4Runner. And then I'm sure we have lots of pictures that we can post about it, but it was really, really cool.
Truth be told, we had so much fun on the 4Runner because it was Chris, it was the old 80-20 rule. Rennie detailed 20% of the car. The rest of us did 80%.
Yep.
Rennie, I know he's not watching, but if he was, he'd be laughing right now because he's the master of doing like a little test spot and going like, hey, I don't think that worked quite right. You guys should check this out. The next thing you know, somebody else is doing the work, right? We're like, Rennie, come on, dude. You got to step up. But no, we had a lot of fun and so that was cool.
Yeah. All right. So Tim Jennings says, Bob, I just want to thank you and your brother for Velocity Glaze. I'm really liking using this for express services.
Yeah, no, that's an icon product, and our product line has been for, I want to say 25 years. Yeah. We actually made that product for a car wash chain in Las Vegas originally, because we had traditional express wax for a car wash, but it wasn't quite, moist enough for the drier climate like, Vegas and stuff like that. So we actually made a liquid wax that had a little more, moisture in it, if you will, fillers, for lack of a better term, that would actually kind of, make the paint pop, and very low dusting and stuff like that. So that's why we invented that product. Yeah.
Yep. All right. I love this next question.
Of course you do.
So from Corey Taylor, using PNS Pearl versus using a dedicated waterless rinseless wash. Will PNS be bringing out a dedicated rinseless wash?
Are you asking me, Sydney?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Well, there's a lot of talk about that. So I'm sure it's going to happen because we're getting pressure from the kids to do this, meaning Kyle and Sydney. So yeah, even though, we really like, Epic as a rinseless wash, and we like Pearl as a, rinseless wash, I'm sure we're going to be soon releasing a product that's, directly related for that purpose. Yeah.
Corey, just so you know, Corey works like I do. So he works out of his garage.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's on water. And I think that, there's a lot of us out there that, for sure. And so I think that, that's a question I get a lot. And, I'm big on the rinseless train. So great question.
And, just like working in your shop on Friday was a classic example with the 4Runner is, we basically took it outside to do the wheel wells, to scrub it. But then we brought it in the garage and we did a rinseless. And actually, in many circumstances, if the car isn't that dirty, it's a quicker process. It's just, it goes quicker. And actually, because you're really paying attention to detail, and you're doing it, quick, with a mitt and then coming back with a towel, it almost does, it takes less time. It really does. I know
it takes less time and you're using less water. And so even just drying the vehicle takes a lot less time because you're not getting like all the door jambs full of water and, all the cracks and crevices full of water. And so it really, I notice a lot when I switch from rinseless to traditional wash, drying the vehicle is a whole different ball game. And so, I typically do rinseless, and it does make a big difference, especially in the hot sun, right? If we would have tried to wash those cars, can you imagine if we would have tried to wash that Shelby out in the sun?
Yeah.
That would have been crazy. So
the
it's
other
nice,
thing it does too is when you pull the car out of the sun and you pull it in the garage, when you do the rinseless technique, it also cools the paint.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you're washing it outside, you may be cooling the paint temporarily by rinsing it with water, but it's still sitting in the sun. So the heat regenerates really quick, and then you got to pull it in the garage. And a lot of times you'll have to cool the paint down with water anyway on the inside of the garage. So it kind of really saves time.
Yeah, totally. So great question, Corey. I'm working on that. All right. So Eduardo says, when are you guys in North Florida, Jacksonville or Daytona Beach?
Chris, don't we have an extreme one day? But Justin's not necessarily considered
He's not North Florida. He's more mid to south down in Melbourne.
Yeah. I know we have Mark Elliott up in Jacksonville, but I don't think he's going to do a class at his shop, although his new facility is just crazy, right? He should.
And I don't want to volunteer him for anything, but maybe we talk to him and Justin about doing one of those classes up there instead of down in Justin's shop sometime.
I don't think there's any reason they couldn't do that. I mean, because basically Mark, pretty much goes to every one of those. So that's
yeah.
I'll talk to him about it.
We'll talk to him about that. Yeah.
When are we coming to Colorado? Hey, Kyle, we're trying to cut back on our travel schedule, not increase our travel schedule. Our travel schedule is getting in the way of our double black lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to say that's one of the things about the pandemic, which was actually, really cool. I thought about this morning as I was driving into work. I mean, it's actually really nice to see, businesses opening and people getting together. I mean, to be up at the car show and there wasn't a mask, within, 20 miles of the car show, it was because it was outside and it was really refreshing. It looks like, SDC was the same. And in our area, big businesses are Apple actually announced that September 15th that their people are coming back to work on, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, kind of a hybrid schedule. So it's going to be nice to see everybody getting back to normal. And that's going to, of course, probably increase our travel schedule and events that we do as well. So right now we don't have a lot on the schedule because we just, didn't know what the future was going to bring. So we're kind of light on travel right now.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So does waterless wash scratch the car? So this is a great question. So let's make sure that we talk about waterless versus rinseless, because they're actually totally different. So a waterless wash would be like Epic, or you can use paint gloss as a waterless wash too. So that is where you are using a ready-to-use waterless wash out of a bottle and spraying it and using a towel. That is a process that you only want to use with very light dusting or dirt. You're not going to clean a dirty car using waterless, because then I would say you have a very good chance of actually scratching the car. Rinseless, again, as long as you're not, coming straight out of the mountains, going mudding with rinseless, a lot of times in the rinseless wash technology, there's polymers in the soap which encapsulate the dirt that lift them away from the surface and then get trapped in the towel. It is a very safe process as long as you're using the right product. And so rinseless is where you wash the car with, you put the product in a bucket of water or in a spray bottle and wash it the way you would without pre-rinsing or post-rinsing. So you can't say you're going to guarantee not to scratch the car, but I've been doing rinseless wash for 7.5 years now. And I'm sure that there's been some wash marring just like any other washing, but no, not anything different than just standard washing the car, as long as the car is not filthy muddy.
Well, I mean, realistically, rinseless is similar. It's a similar process of washing the car with a wash mitt anyway. You're just using less water. The mitt's all, essentially soaped up, for lack of a better term, and you're doing the same process. So, and if you're concerned about that too, Sydney, what you can do is you could use, some pressurized tank with water to kind of preload the car with moisture to soften the dirt, and then come back with the mitt if you had a lot of, dirt on the vehicle.
Yep. And I've done that too. I've used my IK12 sprayer for that. I've kind of soaked the car with, pearl in a heavier dilution in the IK and then come back with a mitt and water. And there's a lot of things you can do to adjust that process depending on how dirty the car is. I have also pre-sprayed the car with, one thing I really like to do, and I know Rennie does too, is I like to pre-spray the car with Epic, which is the waterless wash. And then I go back with Pearl as a rinseless wash. And the Epic just gives you kind of, a barrier and a pre-spray that helps lift that dirt off and gives you a little bit of lubricant on the paint to help make sure that you're not scratching the paint. And so you can always adjust to how dirty the car is. And a lot of times too, like if I have bugs on the front, I'll hit the front with bug off and I'll still use my pressure washer and pre-rinse the front. But then, the entire car, I'm just doing rinseless. So there's lots of things you can do to adjust your process. For me, I just try to use as little water as possible. So I kind of, take each car and figure out, what the process needs to be. So that's kind of fun. So Corey, would you rather use multiple microfibers or the Big Red Sponge Ultimate Black Sponge? Myself, I use the Ultimate Black Sponge. I have never really been comfortable with the towel method. I know that it's perfectly safe to do, and there's a lot of guys out there that do it. I just don't. Oh, I just had a plant fall behind me. I don't use the towels, but I love the Ultimate Black Sponge. Love it for rinseless. Awesome.
Actually, in your garage, Sydney, we had everything in the bucket.
Yes, we did. We actually used. Yeah, we used
everything in the bucket.
Yep, we used the microfiber pads this weekend. Yes. And those
work
great
too.
I love. Yeah, they work fantastic. They and especially I think where I use the sponge versus the microfiber pad is the sponge I use more on the cars that aren't absolutely filthy, and the microfiber pads where you want to actually be putting a little bit more water on the surface, because with the black sponge you're really like you wring it out and then you're just kind of wiping the car. So the sponge I just flop up there and start washing. So if I feel like I need a little bit more water, then I use the pad. So yeah, you can use, that's the great part about rinseless though, is you can really use any kind of, media that you want. So, all right. So next question. Hi, PNS team. I think this question has been asked a few times, but what are your methods to maintain the cleanliness of your interior piano black trim? What do you use, Bob?
No, absolutely nothing. No, I'm kidding. Well, it really depends on the condition. Obviously, I'm a big fan of using, paint gloss on the interior with a soft microfiber towel. If the interior piano black, if it's a big panel and they get, scratched, you can actually polish them with a nano. You can hand polish them. There's things you can do for that. I find on the interior plant, less is better, right? Just see if you can get away with a quick detail spray and a soft microfiber towel. And clean it that way. And then, if it's really bad and you want to improve the surface, then you're going to have to polish it some way, whether it be a tool or by hand. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So same. I am a huge fan of paint gloss on the inside of the car. Probably for the biggest reason is one, it does have a little bit of that waterless wash technology. So it's going to provide you a little bit of cleaning agent safely. And then it also has the anti-static properties, which is another reason why we use paint gloss on so many surfaces, is it is going to help a little bit with that anti-static properties to help keep it clean. And it, helps it stay shiny and all of that kind of good stuff. And then also a lot of people love Bead Maker on piano black, which, I've done that too. That's great. And if you really want to get crazy with it, you can certainly try like if you get it all polished out and you want to try to protect it a little bit, try coating it. I've done that several times too. That works great. And then I know one of the biggest things I think is Range Rover that suggests that you actually use PPF. So I know there's places that will apply a paint protection film to the piano black if you're having trouble with it getting scratched. I know like on Teslas, they have, that huge section of piano black. So it kind of just depends on how much you have and how crazy your lifestyle is. But just for general cleaning, I'm usually just always wiping down with paint gloss. Love it. All right, so Brian, when it comes to Legend, what are the pros and cons of doing one coat or two coats of Legend? The rag company guys tend to do it with one coat.
Yeah, so originally Legend was almost designed to be, quote, a single layer, right? That was the kind of the trend in the industry. But one of the things that we know as applicators is, you put that one coat on, the second coat just adds that extra pop. So, you could always do one coat. There's nothing wrong with one coat. I just feel that to deliver on the promise to the customer, 2 coats of, any coating provides, a superior benefit. Now, one of the techniques that you could use 1 coat of Legend. If you want to speed it up, you could top it with Sol. So maybe you didn't have to do, 2 coats of Legend. But, we look at it, it's like painting a wall, right? If you paint a 1 coat of latex paint, the second layer just does a better job, and as a detailer, we know when we apply that first layer, you're consuming more product because it's laying into the paint. And then that second layer is just, quicker and easier because that's kind of topping it off. So it's really up to the detailer, to be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with 1 coat of coating. It's just realistically, I think, depending on what you're charging and depending on, your business model, 2 coats is always better. Yeah.
Yep. And I tend to, sometimes I do 2 coats of Legend, but I love the combo of doing 1 coat of Legend, 1 coat of Sol. And I think probably the reason that I choose that a lot of times is because I am so interconnected with my customers. So I know that my customers are going to stay up on the maintenance. I know that they're not going to fall through the cracks. And so as treating my customers, I feel comfortable doing 1 coat of Legend, 1 coat of Sol, because I know I'm going to see that car back every year. If it's a car that I feel like I won't see it, or it needs a little bit extra love, then, always 2 coats is best. If you're utilizing the warranty program, then you definitely want to do 2 coats of Legend, just to have the warranty be valid. And so, just play around with it. I don't ever just do 1 coat of anything. I like, same idea as the latex paint. So, but Legend and Sol go really, really great together. I love that. All right. So Brian, when it comes to other surfaces like plastic trim, glass, etc., same question. Or would you skip Legend and use Sol instead? So let's break that up. So let's go with plastic trim.
Inspiration. Classic. Yeah, definitely. More versatile, Sol is almost too light. So if you've got molding or trim that, is essentially, aged or faded slightly, Sol is just not going to do the trick, right? Yeah. Legend would do the trick, but a lot of times Legend can be, too thick. And if it's not applied correctly or, not followed with a secondary wipe, the accumulation of coating can actually whiten on the molding, which we've seen. So classic is definitely the trim coating inside the PNS line. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. And then glass. Glass, we use the View. So View was formulated for glass surfaces. So that's why we say that. You're just going to you can, of course, use inspiration on glass. You could put the Legend on glass, but you're not going to get the same performance and protection that you would from View because of how it was formulated and what surfaces it was formulated to go on. So, and View is such a phenomenal coating. I've been so impressed. And I think as time goes on, I become more and more impressed with View just because I see the benefits that it's providing. Like I mentioned, I get to see my customers' cars often. I have, cars that I've had a View on now for 1.5 years. And even just when I go back to do the maintenance and I'm putting on a second coat that second year, I mean, it's amazing. It really, really is amazing. And it's really doing a great job protecting the glass and customers love it. And so, definitely on glass, I just would always go with View. So always
I also
have
think,
that in.
Sydney too. I mean, the winning combination is, Clarity Cream and View. Right?
Oh yeah, so, for sure.
I mean, you detail a car, especially say an older car that's 5 or 6 years old, that glass, you've described it. It's lost its like pop, right?
Yeah.
So it reminds me, one of my biggest pet peeves is people don't clean their sunglasses, right? So you have your sunglasses on, you got these beautiful glasses, but they're all dirty, right? So you're looking outside, the world doesn't look that good, right? Well, same with the car. If you detail the whole car and the glass is just kind of sketch, you polish it and coat it, they get in their car and they're like, wow, it's like a new car. I mean, it's just worth that, extra step to add that clarity to the glass and coat it. Yeah.
For sure. So hopefully that answers that question, but definitely just use the And that's why I like having the entire family of coating line. And I can't stress this enough that, there's products that work specifically on certain parts of the paint and glass and things like that. And when you put them all together, it really is the winning combination. I absolutely love all of the Inspiration line. Okay, so Chris says, any plans for marketing material pamphlets coming out for the coating line to help sell the coating installs to customers?
So I love this question because Chris Blaisdell has been communicating to me on this. It's like, he's like, come on, Bob, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? So we are working on a pamphlet to help, realistically to really pull the whole line of coating together. Because remember, it wasn't that long ago. We just had Inspiration, right? So now we have, Classic, View, Legend, Soul, the fabric coating. So we are working on a brochure that will address all of that, so that it'll help you as a detailer, offer your customer the selection of products. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Okay, so Jason Rose says, can you guys possibly do anything more awesome? Thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Jason.
We love you, Jason, man. I love Shane Pennington. He's like, I got SV'd by Jason Rose. I love that, right? That was
That's
totally
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
That's
awesome. We got Jason coming to Big Bear this week.
Oh, fun. That's right.
That is, I was actually
so fun.
I was hoping to make a cameo to that event, but I can't. So,
well, you're definitely welcome to, Bob.
I really was. But then, my wife said we got this going on, and I'm like, okay, I can't come. So there you
go. Awesome. We'll have fun in Big Bear, Jason. All right. So Keith is up bright and early this morning. He said, good morning, Bob and Sydney and Bead Maker and Coffee. Congrats on the car show, Sydney, Brae, Gwinn. Thank you, Keith. We missed you, but you did awesome in Kentucky as well. So thank you. I hope you got to see all the pictures. We had a great time.
I think Keith worked a lot harder than we did. Maybe not
Probably.
You, Sydney, but no, I don't want to take away from your effort, but seriously, when we were working in your garage, having fun polishing cars and throwing a little coating on stuff, and I'm thinking that Keith is setting up a trade show and nothing's coming together like he wants.
On the floor,
I'm like, well, I'm glad I'm in Hidden Springs and not in Lexington.
Yeah, but most of the pictures we saw of him, he was on the floor, which didn't look fun.
I think it was a joke, but with Prentice and Keith, you have no idea what they did the night before.
Right. Yeah. Yep. All right. So Corey says, what product do you guys recommend as a coating for exterior trim, smooth and textured alike? So we kind of answered this a few minutes ago, but for both, my answer is Inspiration Classic. Same?
Yeah, definitely. Inspiration Classic. Yeah. Day in, day out, it's the best product. Yeah. For that.
Yep. And definitely. So I know a lot of people, we do get the question a lot, can you use Legend on trim? And you can, but we just want to highly caution you that it is quite a bit more work, especially on the textured. So because of the peaks and valleys in textured plastic, if you use Legend and you don't get a perfect wipe off, like Bob said, you could get white marks. And that's just like I don't know if anybody has seen the lid of Legend or spilt Legend on like their countertop or something. It turns like white, right? And that will happen on the trim if you don't wipe it off. Whereas Inspiration is just so easy. It darkens the trim, seals it up, and you really don't have to wipe off Inspiration. That's why it's so great. So we just always recommend Inspiration. It's so good on trim and it's so safe that I just always turn to that.
It's kind of a risk issue too, Sydney. I mean, so say you have a shop and you got, 4 staff members working for you, and you got a new staff member. You tell him, okay, put Legend on that paint, and then he goes over and he does the molding, and it looks good, but he left a, high spot that really typically would maybe not stand out on molding, but it would stand out more on paint. And all of a sudden that accumulation of coating, dries white. The customer comes back the next day and you're like, he's got this white thing, and it looks like wax residue on the molding, and really it's dried coating, and then you have to scrub to get it off. I mean, hard, right? It's not fun. So just go with Classic.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next question. We've got Brian with, let me clarify, I'm referring to non-windshield glass. So for passenger and driver side glass, Legend, Solar, both. Still View. Yeah, just View. The main reason is, again, like it is formulated for glass. So View was made for all glass, not just the windshield. So you're going to benefit on the side glass, the rear glass, shower glass doors, everything that is glass is going to be great with View. And really the windshield and the sides are no different. The other thing that View is so easy to wipe off and level on the glass that you're not really you have a very low chance of having a high spot. And if you do have one, it is as easy to get off as well, using a little bit of envy. The Legend or Soul leaves behind a little bit different kind of solid. And so if you have a high spot, it's a little bit more work to get off. So View is just always the way to go.
Yeah. And it's a performance issue, right? I mean, if you're doing the whole car with Soul and you want to do the glass with Soul, it's not a big deal. It's just the fact that the performance of View, it's just going to outlast the other products. So that's why you want to use that on the glass.
Yep.
Well,
awesome.
Let's see. I think that's got to get a few more questions rolling in.
Yeah.
But Mark,
I know Brian Crosby said hello too. So early on, so I'm going to say hello to Brian because I know.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Brian. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark Gabar. Good morning. It's the early morning here. Uni. Hi, Uni. Good morning, my friends. We missed you this weekend.
So, Sydney, let's talk about your new client that you're going to go visit today, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Bronco
that'll
people,
be fun.
right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that was kind of cool is Sydney at her car show gives out, incredible trophies, right? And they really look good.
Beautiful?
So you've got a ton of categories. So it's like, almost everybody gets a prize. And so P&S, we got to do the P&S Lifestyle, Double Black Lifestyle Award to, the vehicle that we thought most, represented our lifestyle. And so we selected a couple that had a red and white. What year was that? Come on, help me.
I think it was a 76.
I think so too. 76 Ford Bronco that they had recently acquired. And they just had the top painted. I mean, they just put it together the day before.
Yeah.
And we love the red and black combo. And, it
was gorgeous.
It was really cool. So we met them and then, so they're like, so who's Sydney? And I pulled out your bottle, right? Do you have your bottle with you?
I didn't bring it in here. I didn't even think about that.
So Sydney has a signature bottle of Bead Maker that we did for the car show. So every car show participant got a bottle of Bead Maker with Sydney on the front, autographed, right? So I pulled this out and go, this is Sydney right here, right? So this is the girl you gotta have to your car. So you're going to see those people today, which is cool.
Yes, I am. Yep. Rennie got to talking with them and they were worried about the paint being finished out because the painters paint them and then they don't really do the fine detail finishing. And so Rennie had talked to them and kind of, had me come over and meet them. And so then we got to talking. So I'm going out to their house today to actually look at all of their vehicles, but primarily the Bronco to see what we can do to, kind of give it that final perfect paint, perfect vehicle.
There it is.
There we go. Look how pretty it is. Yeah, 76. So that'll be fun. So I'm heading out to their house this afternoon just to kind of do a consult with them and look at the Bronco a little bit closer. I was, obviously car show mode at the time. So wanted to look at it under lights and talk about expectations and just kind of give it a good once over before getting them scheduled. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun and a good connection.
Yeah, we got to look at that paint, pretty good in the sun. So, I mean, the paint looks good, but that red is going to be crazy when you get done, polishing it. Because it's it needs a little love. Yeah.
Yep. I think there's a couple spots that, need some final wet sanding and then just a good, compound and polish and get kind of some of the swirls and stuff out. But I mean, it looked amazing, but that's going to be fun to work on. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
It is very, very fun and definitely double black lifestyle. Right. And then, Chris, can you dial up a picture of Best in Show? This was a cool one too. So the Best in Show was, it was a 55 Chevy truck, right? It was 55.
So orange one, right?
Yes. It was literally Bead Maker orange. It was so.
I know you had a picture of the bed, Chris. I don't know if you had a picture of the actual.
Yeah. Well, I've got a picture of the whole thing somewhere, but I can pull up the bed picture a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Beadmaker Orange. And so what was fun is our local car photographer that some of you may have seen because they work with the rag company so often. His name is Bart Sepik, and he does photography of cars here in Boise. And so he donated a special photo session to the Best in Show winner. So this gentleman with his 55 Chevy won that. And so we're going to see if we can't sneak in on that photo shoot and try to fill that bed with Beadmaker.
A couple 55 pound films of Beadmaker.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Maybe we'll superimpose him in there, but yeah, well, it depends on how the guy. I mean, he may be may not like us just dumping a bunch of bottles in the back of his bed, but
yeah. Jeff. So Bart's studio is on the grounds with the rag company, and so Jeff was laughing and said that he would take all the Beadmaker over there for us, which is awesome. So that was fun.
That's a pretty. Well, originally we thought like the P&S Double Black Lifestyle would be, we had to basically select from an orange car that was in the show, right? And there was like, I think it was like eight cars that were all orange. Maybe not that many. Yeah. 4 or 5, but we decided we better go a different route. But that truck was really cool.
The wood bed in this thing is that's painted.
Oh wow!
Is it really?
It's faux painted.
Cow.
Yeah, that's
not good. Gosh! Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
I thought it looks real. I didn't get that close, but I thought it was real. Yeah.
No, it's clear coated over and everything. So when you set the Beadmaker back there, you might want to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put something down.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Bart is amazing at figuring out how to incorporate the products into the photography, so that'll be fun. So anyway, so that was a good time. We enjoyed giving out those awards and meeting everybody, and that was just a lot of fun. And it's an eclectic car show. It's not just fancy cars, right? It was a mixed bunch, and it's just a lot of fun. I think that's my favorite part of the show is we don't just do classic cars. It's
well,
all
they're not
types
grouped
and all
either.
shapes.
You don't group them.
Yeah.
They're just kind of how they show up, which makes it kind of neat also. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So Abraham says, are some products getting harder to get? I've had to buy products from different websites to complete my orders.
Oh, we love this question. The lead times are getting longer for our distribution partners. I think that's the challenge, right? A couple of years ago, we used to ship orders easily within the week, and now we're at 2 to 3 weeks before orders getting out of our facility. So it's lead times that are probably adding to shortage of products on the shelves. Yeah, demand is high. The industry's on fire, right? It's it's amazing to see. I mean, everybody that I talk to that's in our industry is busier than they've ever been, and we're no different. So yeah, getting product out to our distribution partners is definitely a challenge, and it's something that we're trying to address. But we're 2 to 3 weeks lead time before we get orders out of our building. And I know a lot of companies in our industry I talk to, they're a lot, their lead time's a lot longer than ours. So we're trying to do everything we can to fix that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That just seems to be everything in life. I feel like right now is hard to get. So. Okay, next question from Jean. Does P&S offer a soap similar to Obsessed Garage, a Decon soap?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't really understand the real term. I mean, maybe you guys of a Decon soap. I mean, we don't really. Our concept of manufacturing a car wash soap is to cleanse the paint, right? So, I mean, is the Decon soap higher pH? I mean, we get this question a lot. I mean, I don't want to sound like a 40-year guy in the industry that's a rookie, but I get this Decon soap a lot. Enlighten me, Sydney.
So, well, maybe you can enlighten me. So I'll tell you what I do, and then you can tell me why you think I do that, because I really have no idea. So
right. I mean,
so for instance, that Hellcat that we picked up the other day, right? It was an absolute disaster. And so I had Kyle foam it with body wash from the Chemtrol line. So whenever I'm doing a really dirty car that I feel like I need to decontaminate, I tend to grab body wash. I feel like as a soap compared to Pearl, or even, what I typically use as a Rinseless, I feel like it strips a little bit more. and to say it's harsh, it's definitely not harsh, but I feel like it's a little bit more cleansing than say Pearl. So I don't know the chemical makeup, but I know for whatever reason, I tend to steer towards body wash if I'm looking for more of a Decon type of paint, soap. So do you have any insight in that, why I might do that?
The philosophy of the chemist, who is not here, who happens to be on vacation in St. Croix right now, is, we blend and manufacture wash soaps that are designed to cleanse the paint, but also be gentle on the paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're doing an effective job cleansing. I know that, like, for example, when my vehicles are coated, and, I know one of the things detailers talk about is that the coatings tend to clog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they want to get a paint that, in a wash soap that cleanses the coating or cleanses the surface. Mm-hmm. When I use Pearl, I use body wash, I have no problem, accomplishing that task. So, I guess we need to know more about, quote, a Decon soap. I mean, if I was to take and, wash a vehicle that I thought was excessively dirty, I would take a general purpose cleaner, of some sort, whether it be, Hot Shot, Blast, EnviroClean, any of those, and dilute them down and use that, or take that as an additive to the wash soap to, to essentially, lower the pH and get us a little more cleansing. But from a day-to-day soap, I think that our soaps do a great job cleansing the paint. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll call Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, what do I need?
What's in a Decon soap?
What's the secret? Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have it. I think we have it and just don't brand it that way, to be honest with you.
Right. Right. Yep. I agree. All right. Next question is, what's with the Dream Maker I'm seeing everywhere? LOL.
Well, it wouldn't be out there if our friends didn't just poke fun at us and release images. But no, so Dream Maker is a product that's going to be released by PNS probably, I think, within the month. Sydney, the testing is good enough that we feel that we're close. I mean, it's really, the product is done, the packaging is done, the labeling is done. We just kind of need the final sign off from all our testers out there to give us the thumbs up that, we want to release the product. So
we got to do a lot of testing this weekend, so that was good. And
we completely Dream Makered the Gabe used it on the I thought it was interesting. Gabe used it on the Forerunner after we had coated it with Soul the next morning. And which was really cool is, he did it in his garage, and there were some smudges on there because he did it in his garage at night or then early in the morning. And so when we brought it to the car show, the key thing is, how did it perform in the sun? And we were able to just, wipe those smudges and create, a bright finish. So,
cool.
Cool.
And we used it on the Untamed Staying and the Pandemic, right? Which had literally nothing on them. The Untamed Staying had just been finished being compound and polished, paint corrected the day before. So literally had 0 on the paint. And I mean, that thing looked amazing, right? And same with Pandemic. We just wiped it down with paint gloss and then put the Dream Maker on it.
Yeah. So, I mean, just so people know, what is with the Dream Maker. Dream Maker is essentially a show car wipe down product to be used, outside, during a show, before a show, that type of thing, on vehicles that are at or on display to create an extra bright, warm finish. So the paint really pops at the show. That's what Dream Maker is about.
Yeah. Yep. And we had a lot of fun with it last week. So that was good times. And we got to have a couple folks use it that did not know anything about it. So we just literally put it in their hands and said,
what do you think?
As if you're a car person, and see what you think. So that was fun. All right. How about the Uni is EnviroClean not safe on all wheels like Brake Buster?
I would say actually, EnviroClean is for sure. Yeah.
Uni, I have yet to find something that EnviroClean is not safe on. EnviroClean is literally one of my most used products. It is so powerful and so great. And I have never even had the slightest bit of concern in anything that I've used it on, whether it be engine bays, fender wells, wheels, tires. It's great, on tires. I even use it in the interior, heavily diluted on really dirty interiors. So I haven't found where EnviroClean causes any issues on any wheels yet. So I think it's totally awesome to use. All right, so Bella Vita says, can you use paint gloss on interior vinyl for its anti-static properties? And if so, should it be diluted?
Yeah, I don't really dilute paint gloss. It just seems crazy to dilute it, right? Yeah. I mean, and I use it on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I wipe down interiors, door jambs, door panels, I mean, it's just a detailer's friend. It's been that product for 20 something years. And, the beauty of paint gloss is it's just overall versatility and high success rate on multiple surfaces. It just works.
Yep. Nope. I use it on interiors all the time. And I actually, both my husband and I both keep a bottle of paint gloss in the car because you could literally do anything with it, right? I mean, you could spill coffee on your dashboard. You could have a bird poop on your car. I mean, literally almost anything that could happen while you're out living life, paint gloss is going to come in, would be able to help you with something. So yeah, I use paint gloss on the interior all the time. We'll have a video coming out here soon. My favorite use for paint gloss is for the anti-static properties as a vacuum spray. And
that is crazy.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
I mean, you showed me that. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I'm obsessed with it. And it's funny because once you start using it, you literally cannot go back. And what's funny is we did a video at the rag company about 2.5 weeks ago. And one of the camera folks there, Gwinn, she was the one filming me doing it. And she came up to me a couple of days ago and said, the whole time we were filming, I thought you were a little bit crazy, right? And she said, I'm trying to get this stuff out of you and we're filming. And I thought, well, that's really weird. But then she said she went home and did it. And then she said, I will never be able to vacuum without it again. Like, that was so awesome. So definitely the same thing. You can use it on all the interior surfaces, but the anti-static properties of it are just absolutely amazing. So paint gloss for the win on everything.
I think
inside.
Also, Sydney, to be honest with you, you coat those fibers, it gives the carpet like a little pop. I mean,
it definitely makes them look like
effect. Yeah.
Yep. Makes them look like they just were cleaned, and the black gets a little bit blacker, and yeah, it's awesome. So then Uni says, oh wait, put Uni's back up there. I missed it. She said, we used paint gloss right before vacuuming car that had pet hair with Diane, and yes, same for the anti-static properties. So, and for those of you that use the For Real from Buff Bright, the paint gloss and the For Real are amazing together. And that's actually the video that we did, was using the two together. And even if you're using a pet hair stone or any other kind of pet hair removal tool, the paint gloss just literally cuts your time in half because of that static if you're using the pet stone, and it kind of creates a static charge, right? And it will kind of pull those hair fibers back to the carpet. And so it just breaks that static barrier and really, really speeds you up. So
fine line though, Sydney. You don't want to recommend that if there's a lot of dirt in the carpet that they soak the carpet with paint gloss, then try and vacuum. You got to get rid of the dirt first. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're talking where you only use 1 to 2 sprays per, foot well. So yeah, if the carpets are dirty, you actually need to clean them, steam them, or extract. This is like just the normal vacuuming. So especially those weekly maintenance ones, removing pet hair. So yeah, once you've gotten heavy debris, we're talking the stuff that sand and pet hair that seem to have a problem with a static electricity. So cool. All right, next question from Jeff C. Any chance of Sol being available in smaller bottles in the future for us DIY guys, weekend warriors? It's hard to use up that 100 mils within 6 months of opening when we do not detail full time.
So let's talk about the 6 months first. I think the 6 month is more. So realistically, Sol doesn't really have an effective shelf life. I mean, if you properly close that bottle and store it, it's going to last a lot longer than 6 months. So literally a year or two. I mean, I even have bottles of Classic that I've had around for a year or two if they're properly stored. They don't. The product will really be fine. So we've talked about coming out with a smaller bottle of Sol, but it's not high on our priority right now. So we're probably going to keep it in the 100 ml for now.
Yeah. And then another tip, if I have coatings, which I don't generally, I use Sol on everything. So my Sol I go through pretty fast. But in the past, if I've had a bottle of coating that's been open and I'm concerned that I'm not going to use it, even within a month or two, you can put it in the fridge. You can move it inside your house. So if you are storing your coatings outside in your garage and you live in an area where it's really hot and your garage gets really warm and you're going to be storing it for a while, just bring it inside, put it somewhere in, your pantry or whatnot.
Yeah.
Just keep it in more of a temperature controlled environment, just not super hot, super cold. I think that's what's going to affect the stability of the product is rapid temperature changes. So if you want to be storing it for a while, just put it in a more temperature controlled environment would be the best. All right, another question from Jeff C. Also, is the 30 ml of Legend enough to do 2 coats on a midsize SUV like a BMW X5 or similar? Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually was able to do 2 coats of Legend on a Ford F350.
So did I.
And did just
Dually
fine.
Extended cab.
Yep. Yeah. And so what you'll find is that after your first coat, you might be below half the bottle, but the second coat, you're going to use literally half the amount of coating that you used on that first pass, and you're going to do just fine. So you'll use less coating on the second just because it's going to go a little bit further. It's going to be an easier wipe off, all of that kind of good stuff. So don't freak out if you get below a half a bottle. You're going to be fine. You'll use less coating on that second coat. So yeah, you should be good. We've all tested it on huge vehicles and did just fine. So, and I actually did a boat with 1 bottle, 2 coats. So no problem there. No problem there. All right. Anthony says, what would your process to wash and prep matte wrapped vehicle for coating?
Standard vehicle wash, right? Obviously if it's, you could clay it. If it's got a lot of particulate on it, you got to be a little careful with that depending on the matte wrap, the age of it as well, right? The age of the wrap has a lot to do with it on the product that you would use. If it's, excessively dirty, you could use a general purpose cleaner, but usually just traditional wash and, prep it with clay if you need it and then coat it.
Yep, you shouldn't really usually ever have to polish or anything like that. I did have a white, a wrapped business van once that had quite a bit of it was white and it was really dirty. So I did use some NV on a white pad and kind of buzzed across it to pull out some of the dirt from the white wrap. But otherwise, you're just good wash, clay, paint prep, and coat it. You should be good to go. All right. Looks like Chris Lee joined us. Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for your help this weekend. That was so awesome. You and Leslie were rock stars.
Rennie misses you.
Yes.
Yes, he does. Yeah. He texted me.
So Chris Lee brought his wife, Leslie. We got to meet her for the first time. That was awesome. I don't know how you guys feel. I just love meeting we know all these guys, that are on our team and work with us. And it's so great to meet their families. Like it just takes everything to a whole different level. And Chris's wife, Leslie, stepped in at the registration booth and was such a huge help with counting the votes and stuff. There was like 500 kids votes. It was crazy. And so she stepped in there. So thank you so much, Chris, for your help and especially Leslie's. That was so awesome and so awesome to meet her. And we just really appreciate that. That was so cool that you guys came.
Yes. Speaking of spouses, we need to see more of Mike around at stuff.
Oh yeah, he's so funny, isn't he?
He's like the secret weapon.
Maybe we need to throw out his TikTok handle. Everybody can follow him on TikTok.
That guy. He thinks he's a big media star now. He said he thinks he should quit his day job, but
or the coffee story. Yeah, they closed during the I don't want to say that.
He's a funny guy. Yes, he does keep score, and he does not forgive. So he remembers everything that everybody says. So maybe he could be good to use to have around for that. He keeps tabs on people. Yeah, he's hilarious. He loves hanging out with everybody. So that was just so fun. And it was so fun to have Yvette here. Oh my goodness. She is so fantastic. Both my kids, Bob said, "Oh, we just love Bob's wife. She's so great."
Well, I have to say, you know,
Delaney just thought she was the greatest.
she really had a good time. You know,
good.
She's not,
good.
You know, she's not a car show person, right? So, but she really enjoyed herself.
Good.
And, you know, if the fact that there were a couple of Ford Broncos there really made her happy. So,
yes. Oh, good.
That's her car, right? So
she was so great. And she went and got me coffee on Saturday morning, made sure. So that was a dilemma, right? We had to be up at 5 and there's no coffee shops open. And so Yvette she went to town at 6:30, right when the coffee shop opened, literally knocked on the window as they opened and said, "I'm here to get Sydney's coffee." And they shared with her the whole story about the Sydney. So that was great. I love that.
Well, here's my last question on the board right now, unless you guys want to dive into.
Do you hear me?
I hear you.
I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, weird.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Bob?
Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We can both hear you. And I can, Chris, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I got you just fine.
Okay.
Let me
Interesting.
Let me bring Bob back in. Any better, Bob? No, that's weird.
Huh. Yeah, we can hear him fine. That's interesting.
We'll have him jump. Maybe he'll jump back in.
Yeah. Well, we'll answer this question. So Jose says, "I am looking for a good cut and polish combo. What do you guys recommend?" So I am, I use a lot of different things. So obviously I love the Ego Maker and Deep Finish. That's probably what I use the most. And then I have some older PNS products. For things that are really rough cut, Ballistic is an awesome compound. It's pretty aggressive. I think they call it rocks in a bottle. But Ballistic's great if you have a lot of heavy cutting that needs to be done. But for my general main go-to, it's usually always the Ego Maker and Deep Finish are such a great combo. I use those two together all the time. Do you have any secrets, Bob, for?
No, I agree, but like you said, don't forget the old school stuff too, right?
Yeah.
It really can perform as well. We've kind of, focused a lot on Ego Maker and Deep Finish and Envy for a finish polish. Playmaker's still out there, can be a great product. Ultracoat polish can be a great product. Kyle's in certain situations can work really well. So not to create confusion, but the best thing is like Sydney said, find the tools in your shop, your 1 or 2 go-tos. And stick with those. Sometimes trying to find the product to be your solution to your problem. It may be the pad, it may be the tool, maybe the tool speed, the pressure, all those things. There's so many variables in paint correction. You got to take them all into account.
Yeah. So Jean, what pads will you use? So I can just say what I use the most. I think that my 85% go-to is the Buff and Shine Blueberry or Yellows. I mean, that is what I use the most. It's what I have the most of. Of course, I have all the ones for strange situations, the white and the black. The other one I obviously use a lot if I'm doing a 2-step or a 3-step. I usually always start with wool. So, I really like our yellow wool that we have with the gray interface. That's probably my favorite wool pad. But otherwise, the blue and the yellow, both of which we have they're both in the double black line, right?
Yes.
Those two?
And 6-inch, 5-inch, and 3-inch. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And so those are my favorite. Those are the ones I use the most, but I have all the pads. Those are just the ones that I use the most. So it's generally, I use the wool or blue with the Ego Maker and then the yellow with the Deep Finish.
Oop. Yeah. What else we got?
All right, Tim Jennings, he says another old school product that would really put out some awesome shine was Parquet. I have never gotten to experience Parquet.
Parquet is discontinued. It's long gone. It should have sailed. Occasionally we got to get rid of some stuff. So yeah, that one is long gone. Yeah.
Was that a paste wax in a can, or what was that? I'm not sure I've ever even seen it.
I mean, actually, it was a really cool cream wax that really provided a lot of moisture to paint. But yeah, it's been discontinued. Yeah. So
awesome. Very good. Very good.
Well, guys, that's the end of the line of questions right now, unless you want to dive into Dreammaker, which I kind of think you probably aren't ready to do yet, but there were a couple of those I skipped over.
I think we just touched on Dreammaker a little bit until we officially launched the product. I don't really want to create too much noise because that kind of backlashes to our distributors. So yeah.
Yep.
So we'll wait till we officially release it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We will be back. Kyle will be back in 2 weeks from today. So make sure you put that on your calendar, and thank you everybody for joining us early on these mornings for Bead Maker and Coffee. We love answering the questions, and always such a great place to let us know any suggestions, find out what's going on at PNS, and everybody have an awesome week, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you guys. Great job.
Thank you.
And Sydney, fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.